chair.
Please welcome Corbin Bleu, Lucas Gabriel, KayCee Stroh, and Bart Johnson!
Check. 1, 2. Salt Lake City, make some noise. FanX, are there any Wildcats in the house today? Woo! Little selfie. Everybody throw your hands up in the air. Say what's up. That's how we do. What's going on, Coach? Go ahead and have a seat. Everybody do their thing. You know what? Hey, Corbin, can we get a Wildcat chant?
Hey, what team?
Wildcat!
What team?
Wildcats!
What team?
Wildcats!
Wildcats!
Get your head in the game!
Woo! Let's go. How do you beat that energy? First panel of the day, Grand Ballroom, Utah. Oh, geez. Hey, on behalf of everybody in the room and watching online somewhere, welcome back home.
So good to be back. Thank you, Ro.
Yeah.
We know you're all over the world, but you know what? Utah definitely has a specific place in your hearts, right?
Absolutely.
Through everything, and that's what we're going to touch base on today. But before we even get started, somebody here on this panel has a specific way of warming up before they perform, before they do anything. So, Mr. Lucas, a.k.a. Ryan.
Only if you do it with me.
We need it, Lucas. Can you take everybody through a warm-up?
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go,
Okay,
everybody.
I think we're good.
Nailed it.
We're ready to start this bad boy off. Check this out. Bart is still on it. He's doing his thing. He's got it. Okay.
Regular Spielberg over here.
Can you believe it's been almost 20 years? I believe 2006, right? We've ended up filming the first one.
Well, we shot in 2005.
2005, and I'm being corrected by April from Transpo right there. The original Transpo.
April, we love you.
So everybody should know on set there's so many people that play important parts. Transportation is one of them, getting us from home base camp, all the way to set, back and forth and doing all those things. Miss April's right there. She's joining us today. Thank you for being part of all 3 movies, Miss April.
Miss you. So good to
Let's
see
hear
you.
it for April.
She knew it. 2005. What does that mean to you now, looking back on almost 20 years of this epic journey? Anybody take it away?
I think it's time that we start doing, what they do when you turn 25 or whatever age that you want to be. You start just re-celebrating the same anniversary. Like, let's just keep it at 19 for a few years.
I think I'm good.
Because I feel too old already.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I like that. What about you, Corbin?
I second that for sure. Yeah, no, we're just gonna say that we're continually 15 years and that's it.
Okay.
But no, it truly is incredible since over the years it's continued to have these resurgences and the love has continued. I mean, obviously those who grew up with the films, they have that nostalgia, and that includes us. I mean, it's just as much a part of our childhood as well. But what's truly incredible is how those people who did grow up with the films also have started having kids themselves and have started introducing it to their kids, and it continues to be a part of just the musical theater canon, and just I cannot be more grateful for it. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you so much. It's every actor dreams of catching lightning in a bottle, and to have something become a classic and then see it passed on from generation to generation. Thank you for doing that. It's such a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad that we will have generations upon generations of Wildcats.
Yeah, this is so wild. I cannot believe that you were just talking about almost 20 years and there's still this many people that want to talk about High School Musical. It's absolutely insane.
We love you. Wildcats in the house. Love you guys so much. It's so special. It's such a special thing. We made this movie. These guys were such babies when we started. You guys are like, I look back on the photos and they were just kids. They were just like so happy to have a job, And then And then for me, as I'd been around a little. I was the old guy in the group, and then to watch these guys like become stars and household names. And I always said, like, people always ask me, what was it like to watch these guys like growing up? And I always say, I'm so impressed that everybody like remains so grounded and so kind and such good, like they're such good people. And I love that. And now it's like all these years later, it's like such a big, important part of our lives. And we come here and it's like so many people. It's like, oh man. My Wildcats, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you for being here. We love you. We love you.
As you're going through that and you're explaining it, I'm thinking 20 years, 18 years, whatever it may be, everybody on stage still looks so young. You
included, Ro.
Yeah,
You included.
It's the filter. They've got me on filter right here, okay? I pay extra for that as a moderator. But even speaking about the origin of everything, every project has an origin. The audition process is a great pinpoint that I want you guys to talk about. Lucas, I'm going to start off with you. Tell everybody about the audition process with somebody like Ashley Tisdale. What was that like for you?
Well, that was interesting. First, I will tell you, I know not a whole lot of people know the actual origin of how the idea of High School Musical came about. The executive producer, Bill Borden, was at a Stomp performance, the percussion group. And he started thinking about, he loved Stomp, and he was thinking about a basketball game in high school. And he was like, man, it would be so cool to do a Stomp number with the squeaks and the swishes and the basketball bounces. And he was like, boom, Romeo and Juliet in high school, musical, let's do it. But okay, so auditioning, you know, we did our normal. I originally auditioned for Troy, got a call back, went and met with Kenny Ortega, the director, and he's like, "You are not Troy, but you are Ryan, and I want you to go out and learn these new sides and come back in, and we're gonna work on this." And so for our final callback, it was it was put up together a lot like a New York Broadway audition. So they were auditioning for Ryan and Sharpay, Troy and Gabriella. There were 100 people in this tiny, sweaty room, and they were just taking us in one by one. We were doing dancing, singing, and then scenes together, and they would pair us together. And when I met with Ashley, when we were going in, she's like, "Hey, I want to go over the music and the scene together because I need to rehearse." And I was like, "Well, tough titties, because I came prepared." And she was like, no, I really need to do that. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll go through it. And we went through the scene, and then she proceeded to give me notes, just like Sharpay would. I was fuming on the inside. How dare you, actor to actor, give me, I'll take all the notes from the director, but how dare you? And then we walked in, and I know why we both booked this role, because I walked in with this anger underneath and a smiling face. "Yes, of course, sister, I'll do whatever you said." And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna add a line, and then I'm gonna say, Brian, and then you're gonna go grab my bags, and you're gonna go over here and do this." And I'm like, oh my God, this is, So it was months later when I got the call that I booked the job, and when we showed up for the vocal recording, I was like, please don't be at that one person that told me what to do. And she and her mom turned around in the corner, and I was like, oh, hey! But, now Ashley's my sister. I love her to death, and it was so great. It made it what it was, and I'm so happy that it turned out that way.
We love that. We love that story.
Love it.
Because I think Bart's experience was a little bit different. I believe he originally didn't get the part for Coach Bolton. Is that true? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I met Kenny Ortega a long time before most people were born there in the cast, on the set of Newsies. Have you guys seen Newsies? Oh, yeah. So I met Kenny there, and I was dating the girl Ellie Keats on the show, and I'm hanging out with like Christian Bale and David Moscow, and it's like this cool thing, and Kenny was great, and he kind of became a family friend, and he was so supportive of like my acting career. I did a TV series, and he'd always call and say, "Hey, this is amazing in the scene," or whatever. So he's just like a great friend for all these years. and really supportive. So then he calls me one day. He goes, "Hey, listen, he'd already done Newsies, Hocus Pocus, all these big movies, and he said, look, I'm doing this movie. It doesn't have a name yet. We're calling it High School Musical until we come up with something. It's a little movie. No one's gonna see it. There's no money in it, but we're gonna have a really good time. I think you're the coach. I want you to be the coach." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Okay, so here's the audition. It's at Universal. Jason Lapadura, Natalie Hartwright, the whole thing." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." I go in there and audition, and a couple days later, they say, "Oh, you didn't get it. You didn't get the part." And I got a phone call from Kenny, like, "What did you do? What'd you do in there? You're perfect for this role." He goes, "What'd you wear?" I'm like, "I just wear like a jeans and a t-shirt." They didn't give me a script. Like, I don't know. I've never played like an adult before. I was playing the basketball guy like before. So it was like my first time as in like playing an adult role. And he's like, "You can't go in there in jeans and a t-shirt. You're supposed to play Zac Efron's dad." And I'm like, "Who's Zac Efron?" Like, who's that? I'm not, at that point, like, nobody knows, like, who that is. So I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Look, go put some gray in your hair, wear a sports coat, and go in there and act like you're supposed to, the age you're supposed to be." Okay. So I go back in there, and he got me a screen test at Universal for that. And I got the part, and he said, "Okay, you got the part. Get the gray out of your hair." And that was it.
That was it. That's how we got it, everybody.
Fight for it.
We still haven't come up with a name yet, though. We're still working on the name.
Apparently. I'm going to go and switch gears real quick. I believe we have somebody with a question for the panel. What is your name and what is your question?
My name is Caitlin, and my question is, what's your favorite song from the 3 films?
Easy. I Don't Dance.
Yeah.
Getting to do that with this guy, that was one of the coolest experiences of that entire trilogy.
I really wish we still remembered it. We keep talking. We're never in the same city for long enough to rehearse, but we need to work that back up again.
I know, truly, yeah.
I think we'd all like to see it. I mean,
Yeah, actually, and one of my favorite parts about that number 2 was the origin of that song. It's that when Frank Sinatra first came on the scene, he of course was making waves. People loved him, but his team were saying, "Well, he's a great singer, but he can't dance. He's got 2 left feet." So they ended up calling Gene Kelly. And they said, "Hey, Gene, we've got this guy. Everybody loves him. He's got a great voice, but can you maybe show him a few moves?" And Gene said, "Well, does he play any sports?" And they said, "He loves baseball." They said, "Okay." So he said, "Meet me at the baseball diamond." So Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly went to a baseball diamond, and through baseball movements, Gene Kelly taught Frank Sinatra how to dance. And that's where they ended up coming up with I Don't Dance.
Yeah. I have to say, it's not everybody's favorite, but I really, really love All for One. And especially, it was like the first song that I was like, yes, it's in my range. Like, I have a low voice. I can finally, like, belt this out. And then I had the wonderful Lucas as my partner finally for that. So if you watch that back, we are having the time of our life.
Time of our lives. That was so fun.
It reads on camera. So I love that one. But I do have to say, I saw someone who used Can I Have This Dance as their wedding song. And after like listening to those words again, I went, wow, this is a beautiful song. Like, I did not really think about it in the moment, but it's beautiful. It's timeless. That's what I think.
I like, as far as numbers go, I Don't Dance for sure, hands down. But as far as like written songs, and especially, you know, now, after like what we were saying earlier about how much time has passed and that you guys have carried this torch and kept this project alive, You Are the Music in Me describes how I feel about all of you so much and to such great detail. I love that song so much more now than I used to, and it's because of all of you. So I thank you for that.
I didn't get a song. Maybe you didn't notice that. Maybe, you know, I will sing for you now, though. Is that right? No. I'm just kidding. But, you know,
Feelings there. I can tell. There's some feelings.
you know, Darvis and I had a song in the first one that got cut by Disney, and it was Anything You Could Do, I Can Do Better, like Andy Get Your Gun thing. And they cut that sucker. They said, we don't want to see the old people dancing. which is mean. That's a mean thing to say. But I will say, I really like, I love the themes of of High School Musical, and like I don't know, during the pandemic and everything, it meant so much to people to have these really meaningful messages in the song. I think they're so beautiful and universal and everything. But that being said, I love when a song has like like when these guys are like, you know, playing the baseball, and it's like there's got some grit to it, but then they're singing this beautiful, you know, this beautiful song at the same time. But 16 for me. Well, it's the only time you hear my voice on a thing because I say, "Come on, boys." That's about it. But I did get to do a cool monologue before about 16 minutes. We got 16 minutes left in this game. We got 16 minutes left in this quarter, and for you seniors on the squad, there's only 16 minutes left in that Wildcat uniform. And I think that was a beautiful message because it just reminds me, maybe everybody, that time is fleeting and it's precious and to like this moment we're together. Like every time I'm with these guys, I don't know if I'll be together with these guys again. This is special for me, and this is special for me to be with you guys. So there's only 16 minutes left, guys, in a while.
27.
So.
With that being said, you're sidetracking me, Bart Johnson. Can you give everybody here a Wildcat coach speech that's just gonna get to our heartstrings? Putting you on the spot. Let's go.
Pull from your inner Kinney.
I mean, that was pretty good.
I already did the one.
He just recited.
I had. No, it's either.
He recited word for word. The fact that you remember that monologue is
That's amazing.
Oh, there's that one where it's like, the West End Knights have beat us 6 years running. Well, this year we're getting it back. Does anybody else?
Yes, there it is.
But I will say this. I'll give you this one, though. Where's my team, Darvis? And what the heck are those two doing in a tree?
That's what we're talking about.
The best one.
As you can see, you're back home in Utah. Everybody's loving being a part of the Wildcat family. But somebody on stage has special ties to Canada. They ended up doing projects out there, and then I think picking up somebody into their lives around that time. Corbin, tell us about Canada. What were you doing out there?
Well, yes, I married a Canadian. That's what he's going after. So yeah, I mean, I love working in Canada too. I did a few movies out there. One of them being Jump In. We shot Jump In up in Toronto. But yes, I ended up meeting my wife in a grocery store up in Toronto, and we've been married for 8 years now.
Did your wife recognize you?
No. So she recognized my face, but didn't know why. Because and this is why we're together. She had, funny enough, had never actually seen any of the High School Musical movies, but she thought that I was a friend of hers. So she turned to me and she was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, I'm good. What's up? And then she realized that she didn't know who I was, and at the time she was working for this coffee company, and they were doing like a sample, showing their stuff in the store. And she goes, "Oh yeah, well we have this medium blend, and you should check this out." And it was just a really funny meet cute, and we ended up we went salsa dancing, and
we know
yeah, the rest
Sasha's
is
in the building
history.
too,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
Awesome,
Sasha's just as much a part of the Wildcat family.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love that. But bringing it back to Utah, in Utah, let me know if anybody agrees with me. We love crafting in Utah. We love scrapbooking in Utah. Lucas, do you do any crafts? Bracelets in particular.
Maybe a few. I make some bracelets and some bookmarks. And at home I like to build furniture and make rugs and paint and do a few things. I don't know.
You got me interested because I would like a Lucas bracelet. Would anybody else like a Lucas Grabeel bracelet? Did you
Man,
bring
I should have
any?
worn some. I would have thrown them out. I'm sorry. They're back at the table.
One of my favorite memories is when we were on. Lucas is always taking on some new artistic endeavor, and one of my favorite memories was when we were on the High School Musical tour and doing the concert tour across the country. At one point on the tour bus, we had I can't remember where we had stopped off, but you all of a sudden walked on with an accordion.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, what's that? And she's like, "I bought an accordion. I'm gonna learn." We're like, okay, cool.
Our music director played the accordion really well, and he told me that he would help me learn, and he did, and it was great.
How many instruments do you play?
I don't know. I'm a good actor. I fake my way through a lot of instruments that I'm not that great at. But, I like to collect instruments more than play them professionally. But, yeah.
Awesome. And if people want those bracelets, they can buy some at the table, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll take another audience question right here. What's your name and what's your question?
My name's Melissa, and my kids are the Wildcats. They're elementary school in Idaho, actually.
Go Wildcats!
But what I wanted to say is, what is it like to be a part of bringing back musicals? Because you guys were high schoolers playing high schoolers, which hadn't happened before, I don't know. So to me, that was amazing, and something that families could have like this positive thing to look forward to, and like energy and encouragement and positivity to be like, hey, I can really do something. And what's something that like a meaningful exchange you've had with a fan or something that you're like, wow, I really did something?
So I actually have a very crazy full circle moment where I remember being homesick one day from school, and I was on the couch eating chicken noodle soup and watching Newsies. And I remember looking at my mom and I said, Mom, I think it is my dream to bring back musicals. And little did I know that someday we would be a part of this wonderful experience. And like you said, the fan interactions are everything, especially like for me, I didn't grow up seeing people that looked like me on TV. And so the outpouring of, well, thank you. The outpouring of love that I received for like representing and being unique, and the fan mail and the mothers saying thank you so much for showing all of us that talent doesn't have a waist size or a dress size. So
Here.
thanks.
KayCee, let's keep going with that, because I don't know if Martha was supposed to be a repeat character, right?
No, I was very blessed. In fact, when we go back to auditioning, my audition was very different than yours. I actually heard about the project from Bonnie's story because she used to choreograph for my competitive dance group. And she ran into me and she said, oh my gosh, I'm doing this like tiny Disney project. It doesn't even have a name. But they did say in casting they wanted all different shapes and sizes and colors, and I thought of you. And so I went to the audition, and I was 19 at the time. I took my students that I was teaching because I thought, what a great experience for them, And I auditioned for Martha. I was one of 500 that day. And Kenny actually walked over to me after the audition, and this really was like life-altering for me, because growing up wanting to be in the entertainment business, doing theater, doing dance and acting, I was told like 10,000 no's and that I didn't fit the part, And so Kenny walked over to me and he grabbed my hands and he said, I love you. You're different. And it was like, my whole life, what I had fought against was actually what made me stand out that day. And he said, I have looked for Martha. We auditioned New York, and we auditioned LA, and we just didn't find her. And I think you were here hiding in Utah. So, like, really cool thing. And so then, then I did stick to the status quo, and they sent the dailies. That shows how old we are. Sent the dailies to Disney, and Disney said, "Wow, we really liked her and what she did, but everything's already scripted and songs are already done. So what do we do?" And I got the phone call the night before you guys were doing "We're All in This Together," and I learned the dance the night before, and they threw me in. Oh. So I was not originally, yeah.
So, to all the Marthas out there, yes, or Marios, whoever they may be, what piece of life advice would you give them?
I would always say to be, it's so cliche to say, but seriously, be yourself. Because anytime you try to change that, you never know if that next role or that next thing, they were looking for you just the way you are. So that would be my biggest advice.
I love that. Hey, and while we're here, we're all together. Big shout out to Miss Bonnie's story. Big shout out to Chucky Claypell.
Yes.
Big shout out to Mr. Kenny Ortega.
Absolutely.
Who can talk about the magic that is Kenny Ortega? Because There's nobody like him.
Before we get it, let me just say one thing, because that question about being a part of musicals coming back, Kenny he had a conscious mission to bring musicals back. He tried to do it with Newsies. He made an impact. He didn't make quite the impact. Tried it with Hocus Pocus. He's done a bunch of musicals. And then this one, this tiny little project.
Dirty Dancing too.
Oh yeah.
And Dirty Dancing, and the choreography for Michael Jackson for 14 years, and Xanadu, and so many amazing projects for so long. But he's like, I want to bring musicals back, and we didn't know it was going to be this one. But then I was just thinking about that, because I was thinking Lucas, he makes beautiful music now. He's a part of bringing music back, and Corbin is a big Broadway star now. He's a big he does all this beautiful work on stage. A big part of bringing musicals back, because he brought his fan base and everybody knows him to Broadway, and that's important. And KayCee's an amazing dancer. She's bringing her dancing to so many places. So it's cool that we got that experience, but we've all kind of gone on to still contributing and loving bringing musicals back.
That's amazing. Before I get sidetracked again, another fan question. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Ashton, and my question is, what was the first play you ever did?
I was 12 years old, and I did a high school musical, which didn't make any sense, because they're supposed to all be in high school, but a very particular director, a lot like Ms. Darbus, was like, we need a young child to play the role of Colin in The Secret Garden. And I remember the curtain coming up the first time, and I was like, all right, that's it. This is what I'm doing. Cannot picture anything else. So yeah, Secret Garden. It was great.
For me, it was Ren in Footloose. Yeah. And I think we share that too, right?
Yeah,
Did you also
I did
play
it
Ren in
my
Footloose?
senior year of high school, and my high school musical, the senior year, was Footloose as well.
Mine was freshman year.
Nice.
And you went to a performance arts high school, so
That
means even more.
What's funny is, especially people always say it's High School Musical, as much as it was such a huge part of my childhood, it also ruined my high school experience, because I thought we would all be just singing and dancing in the hallways. But that actually was my high school experience, because I went to an arts high school. We really
Lucky
would
duck.
sing and dance in the hallway.
Yeah, we all didn't get that, but whatever. No, that's awesome. So mine was actually in the 4th grade, and I played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Aww. And I do remember having a moment where I was walking up the aisle in the beginning with the fake Toto and interacting with the audience, and I was like, wait a minute, because I had been doing dance since I was 2. And I was like, wait a minute, you can dance, sing, and act all at the same time? This is even better. And I was like, yep, this is it. This is what I want for my whole life. So I kind of had that moment too, Lucas.
I did a West Side Story in high school, because all right. Wasn't expecting that. But I was in choir because all the girls are in choir, so I was like, seems like a good idea. That's
Such a
better than
coach
football.
answer.
Yeah. And so when you're in choir, you do all the musicals, and it was great. I did Action. I was Action. I sang the Officer Krupke song, which is funny, which is comedy. I would love to do comedy. So a comedy, musical was it was great.
I was Baby John.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Hey, we're Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're a jet, always a jet.
You're a jet all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day. Yes.
Did you sing it? You sang it just like that?
Exactly like that. Back in Missouri, which is the native tongue.
I love that. Who else do we have? What's your name? What's your question?
My name is McKay, and my question is, what was your first impression looking at the HSM set?
I thought you were going to say series. The set was, the set is a lot like the wardrobe, and, we learn the lines, and we sing the songs, and we learn the dances, and you think you have this idea of what the characters are and the story and everything, but when you show up and the set is there, and you put on the clothes, that's when things become a little bit more real and magical all at the same time, because everything just starts kind of coming together. And I know, for me, one of the first things that I shot musical-wise was What I've Been Looking For. And I remember just seeing the stage and Ashley and everything, and everything just fell into place and made sense. And it was just, I don't know, it became real at that moment, which was really special.
I mean, Salt Lake City is home now to one of the most iconic high schools, and it's a real high school. East High, shout out to East High out here.
Yeah.
I remember walking up to that campus at first and just being floored because it's truly stunning. It's beautiful. And what's amazing is I have more visceral reactions to seeing that high school than I do to my own high school. When we went back for High School Musical, the musical series, I hadn't been back to East High since we shot the original movies, and walking into that gymnasium, immediately just tears started flooding up to my eyes, and I could not believe the incredible memories and what a wonderful space that we had to work in. And also, shout out to Kenny again, because there were so many moments. I mean, when you watch Kenny work, he really is so organic in his movement, and he comes up with stuff on the spot, which I do feel for a lot of our artistic team sometimes because they have to keep up. One of my favorite moments was in the third film. I remember he went, we're on set, we're in the middle of shooting, and he goes, "Oh, I need a Statue of Liberty here."
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I remember our props guy going, "What? We needed?" He's like, "Yeah, we need to have a Statue of Liberty." So the next day they had a Statue of Liberty for it. So again, it truly incredible sets. But the fact that Kenny was just able to have all of these incredible inspirational moments and bring what he did to it is beyond.
Yeah, Mark Hoffling was the production designer for all three films. He was absolutely incredible. And so many of the things that he built for East High School, they kept up. And they are still there all of these years later, which is just insane.
Yeah. It's amazing. And one thing that came to mind while you were saying that, Corbin, and I looked at Lucas, and he immediately knew what I was talking about. The roller coaster in High School Musical 3, graduation scene. All of a sudden, you see us doing these roller coaster movements, right? We were on break. Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
Of course.
Who wants to
I
say?
completely remember this.
Tell everybody how it came about.
Okay, so we were actually sitting there and we were like, "Oh, we're dying inside, we're all hurting, and we started massaging each other's shoulders. And Kenny walked over and was like, "Wait a minute, what? Huh?" Like his brain's just like always going, and we were just like playing with the idea. So that was just like totally silly, organic, and became such a cool moment.
Now do this. Now go to the left.
Yeah.
Now shake in
No,
place.
shake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were all lined up behind each other.
Wait, can we?
massaging. And
One
of my favorite. And
Are we gonna do
he
this?
does this
Are we
thing
gonna
that
do
he-
this?
Hey, we're doing this. We are doing this.
We're doing this.
Let's go.
We're doing this
So
in a
everybody's
dress,
in a
by
line.
the way.
Everybody's in a
I wasn't
line,
in it,
just
but
like
I'm
this,
in.
massaging each other. And
Luckily, I
Kenny
always wear
walks
safety
in,
shorts.
and he does his usual.
Oh, hey, Kenny.
How's it going, Kay?
You. Go. That's going to be the shot that we're going to have at the top. That's what it's going to be. Yes.
And that's how we did it.
Things like
That
that.
is
It
5
just
minutes.
comes up with stuff like that.
That's how it went. Wait, Lucas. Hey, everybody loves a good jazz square. Could you please?
Yeah, we gotta give a good
yes.
job.
Once a wildcat, always a wildcat.
Funny story. I shouldn't say this, but in the beginning, we all put each other's names in our phones as codes in case our phones got hacked or someone stole them. Lucas, you are still Jazz Square.
That is awesome. Next question. Name and what's your question?
Hi, I'm Jessie. And I'm Morgan. And we were just curious, based on, reflecting on your journeys and how far you've come since then, what is a piece of advice you would give yourselves starting at the beginning of your High School Musical career?
Wow. Wow.
I didn't really, a lot of us, didn't really pay much attention to mental health before all of this happened. And it was like too much, too fast for me. Just in the attention and focus. I thought I was going to have to work really hard for a really long time before even a small portion of that would ever happen to me. And I found myself later down the road going through severe depression, anxiety, panic attacks, the whole 9 yards, and got help, and I still struggle with it every day. But I would tell myself back at to the beginning that, look, we all think of looking up the mountain and seeing the success as the top of the mountain, and see that once you get to the top, everything's fine. But what we don't realize is it's a whole mountain range of life, and you get to the top of one, you still have to get down. And it's not just peaks and valleys of your own emotional roller coaster, but it's just life. Things are great sometimes. Life is full of joy sometimes, and it's also full of challenges and complications. And it doesn't matter where you are in the echelon of who you think you are going to be or how successful you are. Life is just life, and we all deal with the same crap that as humans. It may come in different packages, but it still feels the same. And so to prepare myself for that and to know that it's not something that's wrong with me, that we're all feeling it.
No, honestly, so beautifully said. So beautifully said. And I think that you're completely right. We have had so much more focus on mental health over the years and more recent years. And I know that when everything did first begin with High School Musical, I mean, we were kids. We were teenagers. And it's a lot. and I remember being put under a spotlight and all of a sudden going, okay, well now and being put in a position of having to all of a sudden be quote unquote role models, and even more so through a Disney lens. And this teenage years, high school time, it's a time where you mess up. it's a time where you're learning, and I do remember also. At that time, and again, I feel like we've come a much longer way. But again, in teenage years, there was so much bullying, and I remember feeling like I couldn't react in a way that would be normal to any kind of bullying. I had to constantly have that smile on my face. And be like, it's okay. And I think I would have liked to told myself back then, it's like, no, you don't have to just deal with disrespect. It's all about mutual respect. So I think that was something that I had carried for a long time. And just to know you can't please everybody, but just always try to lead, of course, with kindness and respect as much as you can. But know that it's okay to walk away from situations.
Stand up for yourself.
And stand up for yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Love that.
Nice. Oh, Gall. Yeah, you guys have covered so much of that for me, especially like the being on and, being trained by the mouse. We're like, everything's lovely. Everything's perfect. We love everyone. And I can totally relate to that. I can also relate to what you said, Lucas, about the mental health side of when you see such success, it's like, okay, what's next? Like, I've made it. Like, where's the next job? What's going on, And I wish I would have received this advice a little bit earlier, but I had some great advice that I'd love to share, especially if you do plan on going into the entertainment industry, because it is a feast or famine profession. And that's not easy, and there's a lot of rejection. And I had great advice once where somebody told me, make sure you just keep living your life. You can't wait on that next thing to be happy. Like, just find the joy in what you're doing now. And for me, like, that was motherhood, and that was raising these little babies. The first baby Wildcats, by the way. I claim that title. But yeah, and like, life goes on, and like, you have to trust that God is going to bring like the projects to you. And it is crazy that when I released that and let go of that, I'm not worried at all. I'm like, no, it's like, it'll come, and it does. Like, I'm doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat right now.
Woo!
Broadway at the Eccles. Like, and when it's right, it'll be right. And you don't have to be stressed out in that waiting time. Just live your life and be happy. So.
Well, I'm going to try to make this real fast, guys, because I see our time is ticking away here. But anytime you hear someone say, I care about mental health, I'm going to be an actor, it's not a good recipe, really, because it's rough. It's really rough. But the only thing I would like to encourage people, and I think this applies to everybody, is the jobs and the working and the fun, like the fancy stuff. It's all gravy. That's like icing on the cake. It's not the cake, though. It's just the icing. It's just the fun stuff. And it's fun, and we love it, and we're passionate about it, we're excited about it. But it's like, that's not where true fulfillment comes from. So if you could like have true fulfillment, like, and that's like your relationships, you know, whether it's someone you're married to, you're in a relationship with, your family, your friends, whoever's like near and dear to you, like that's where you're gonna get your fulfillment, you know, serving others. And it's this weird time that we live in where like judgment and canceling people is like paramount for some reason. And really what happiness comes from love and kindness and forgiveness and patience and resilience and just forgiving people, you know. And that's I hope that society will embrace more of these wonderful things, because I think that brings happiness and fulfillment. And then you can enjoy the fancy stuff, and then you can enjoy being an actor or whatever you're doing, and enjoy your money or your success or whatever, because you already got your fulfillment. And that's my
There we go.
That's 2 cents from the coach.
Love that. One more quick fan question. Name and question.
Hello, my name is Savannah. I've been a Wildcat since I was like 14.
Woo! Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Savannah.
Yay. My question is for Corbin Bleu. How long did it take for you to learn the skills to play basketball? Because, I mean, you weren't always Chad. You weren't always, dribbling the ball and, getting spirits. How long did it take you to get into that and be able to play the sport successfully?
I still can't play the sport successfully.
I was gonna say, aren't you still working on that?
I'm still working on that. Yeah. No. I've always been a performer. I've always loved dance. My parents gave me my first pair of tap shoes when I was 2 years old. Like dance, I always say, has been my first language. So during the audition process, I went in, I had to sing, I had to act, I had to dance and do all these things. But the final leg of the race was this dance audition that I had to have with Chucky Claypool, with our choreographer. And it was just the two of us. He was the final word, and Kenny had said to him, we love him. You can just tell us that you make sure that he can do the get your head in the game choreography and that he can play basketball, then he's got the job. I walked into that audition with I bought a jersey and some basketball shorts. I went and bought a basketball because I did not have one prior. And my dad had worked with me to just be able to dribble. But again, dance was always my thing. So for some reason, the choreography with the basketball all came naturally, and I walked into that room looking like a baller. But when I showed up on set that first day, we of course had all of our dance rehearsals, music rehearsals, but we would also run drills in the gym. And the first day running drills, all of the producers and everyone, they went, "Oh, he can't play." But I will say, I'm very proud to say that ball, I carried that with me every day for the next, 4 years that we shot these 3 movies. And I slept with the thing. I'm not joking.
You were the reverse Sinatra.
Not lying.
That was legit. With me every single moment of the way. So I 100% committed, and I still to this day I can spin it on my finger. I could do all these fun moves. Do not ask me to shoot. Any moment that you see,
with the basketball.
Oh, terrible! Any moment that you see we're actually doing a layup, that probably took a good 7 takes for me to get that shot.
He took that thing everywhere, rehearsals to dinner, out and about, wherever we were going. I would go to the bathroom, underneath the stall there would be a basketball. I knew Corbin was in there. But the amount of dedication each and every single one of you have to this amazing, incredible project. We're out of time, but last but not least, can we just go really quick, lightning round. 20 years, High School Musical. who says yes to an HSM reunion?
Oh,
We do. Oh, yeah.
we do. You're talking to the right crowd.
Wildcats, would you love to see an HSM reunion? Would you love to see an HSM reunion at FanX? The people have spoken. One more time, give it up. Bart Johnson, KayCee Stroh, Corbin Bleu, Lucas Grabeel. Corbin, take us out.
What team? What team? What team? Wildcats! Get your head in the game!
Woo!